Previously on Revelations 2.
Mother of balls! My life is awesome!
That bitch stuck a needle in me?
Claire, get up to the roof!
Hi, I'm Rob Cram, and today we're taking a look at Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 3. The penultimate episode of Capcom's survival action game Resident Evil Revelations 2 is upon us, where straggling survivors or victims, Claire Redfield and her sidekick, Moira Burton, choose the path of discovery, whilst Barry Burton and his befriended youngster, Natalia, search for the answers. The two campaigns work in tandem, with Claire's setting the stage before Barry makes his move after the events. It's a clever way of piecing the stories together, but also means the same locations can be reused, which might be considered a little cheap. That said, both campaigns feature some unique locations, and in this instance, it's much more profound. Claire's campaign has opted for a more action approach with some mild puzzle elements where players have to figure out progression in a lateral way. This is fused with not so many enemies, but culminates in a big battle, which we won't provide the specifics here. Players still have to switch between the melee attacking Moira and her blinding flashlight to daze opponents, and the well tooled up Claire with her assortment of guns to the point where there's no room to carry any more without swapping out the inventory. Choices. The on-the-fly switching mechanic works wonders, as the two share items with each other and generally watch each other's backs, although there is some concern over the aggressiveness of the AI character, which by and large doesn't fend for itself as well as it could do. By now, players will have amassed a number of skill points to upgrade the characters, which helps in a more subtle way and makes progression a little bit easier for those who have maxed out each one. Barry's campaign is more stealth-based and subdued, but still manages to instill some action moments, making it a lot more appealing, to the point where the entire game could have been based on Barry and Natalia, as the two seem like a match made in heaven gameplay-wise. There's some interesting dialogue between the two, filling in some backstory, and there's even an F-bomb in front of the clearly underage sidekick, which is realistically indignant given the circumstances. Sadly, Barry's campaign degenerates into one massive puzzle, which might leave some scratching their heads, but it does make for a neat change of pace, especially when fused with some snappy action sequences. Putting the two campaigns together, and you've got around 2.5 hours of gameplay this time, although as before, you're encouraged to replay again and try out some of the other unlocked modes. Sadly, there's some performance issues in places on the PC during the Claire campaign, which can cause the frame rate to dip, but these are just about forgivable. Raid mode sees an additional character added once the two campaigns are complete, adding some more legs to the already impressive bonus mode. So for the asking price, it's reasonable value overall, especially if you've been hooked on the first two offerings. Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 3 is a worthy addition to the series, which plays neatly on its strengths with the interchanging of characters and perspectives, odd puzzle solving, and a few frustratingly cheap deaths. Whilst there's little mystery remaining in terms of the story, the stage has been set for a neat and final chapter. In all, Episode 3 comes recommended, although doesn't offer anything new if you didn't gel with the previous outings. Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 3 scores 8 out of 10. I'm Rob Cram, thanks for watching.